We're starting the while loops unit, and the first question given to us is, given what you know about for loops, when do you think a while loop would be superior to a for loop? Not knowing a lot about while loops yet, but knowing about for loops, I think that all of the loops that we've done, there's something that we know in advance, right? We know how many iterations that it is we're going to be doing, right? Or at least we know the maximum number of iterations that we could be doing. We did some operations on prime numbers where we potentially stopped earlier before we checked all of the possible numbers we could check, right? Maybe we found one divisor so we could determine that number was not prime and go ahead and move on to check the next number in a list. But we knew what our maximum number that we had to check was, right? The number itself. There's no reason to go beyond that. No number that greater than the number itself is going to be a divisor of that number. And that is where while loops can be really valuable, right? When it's an open-ended question, right? You don't have a predetermined length of a list or a range of values that you're going to iterate through, or a certain number of times that you want to accomplish the same task over and over, right? You want to execute some task over and over until some condition is met, and you're not sure when that condition is going to be. That's when a while loop is going to be valuable, right? So we can go ahead and say a while loop might be more useful for open-ended operations where the programmer is not exactly sure how many iterations. Let's say not exactly sure, is not sure exactly how many iterations the loop will need to make, right? So that's a good example for why a for loop is going to be potentially inferior to a while loop, right? There are some places where we're still going to want to use a for loop instead of a while loop. We'll talk about that through this unit. But that's it for this one. I'll go ahead and see you over in the next lesson.